What does it take to create a positive learning environment? I scratched my head about it for a little while, and then I went back and reviewed some of our course materials. And the one author that made me think the most was John Hattie. And you have probably read all of these already, but basically he says that the environment in which learning is to take place is positive, safe, caring, socially and culturally respectful, and inclusive. Learning is meaningful. The learner can use what they already know to learn something new. What they're learning is appropriate for their developmental level. Vygotsky talked about the zone of proximal development. So what that means is that the learner feels comfortable because what they're going to be learning is right at the edge of their current development. They just need to stretch just a little bit. So what's being learned is challenging, and the learner is engaged and accepts the challenge. Learners see themselves as successful in the learning process with opportunities to learn in their own way. And they have opportunities for social interaction and helpful feedback. And that reminded me of a blog post that I wrote back in 2011 where I was asked, if you had your druthers, what would your ideal learning environment look like? And my response was probably what you would expect. It would be intellectually stimulating, safe, have positive energy. It would reflect the interests and the culture of the students. It's a place students wouldn't mind visiting. Reflects the challenges that students have faced, and a place in which studying the English language is interesting, fun, and seems worth every minute. It's also a place of change and growth brought about by learning in a safe place. So I did a little dance because what Hattie was saying, and I hadn't read Hattie before that, but what Hattie was saying was similar to what I had said, and I thought, yay, I know what I'm talking about. But I still had questions. And my question is, how do you create a positive learning environment? It's still that same question. And I can answer it by saying, first of all, I can't create it by myself. It's not just me. It has to be everyone involved. Students, parents, community, administrators, instructional assistants, and other staff. Everybody has to get together to create this learning environment. And what's the key? What's the key to that home where that called the positive learning environment? It's respect. Respect is everything. Some people think that when I say respect, I mean that you should treat everyone the same, or you should treat everyone the way you want to be treated. But that's not true. That's not what I mean. And I first learned that by reading the works of Geneva Gay and Sonia Nieto, who talk about respect being treating people the way they want to be treated. And in order to therefore respect people, you have to know about people. You have to know about different cultures and customs. You have to know about the individual person and what they like and what they don't like. In other words, you have to care. Respect and care go hand in hand. And when you have respect and caring, you have a learning environment in which people feel free to take risks, make mistakes, and learn together. Now, there are definitely constraints on all of this, and I can just name a few. First of all, the idea of having a respectful, caring, safe learning environment is new to a lot of people. People feel that school is a certain way, and when they encounter someone trying to do things differently, they often react in negative ways. It's hard to let go of social customs and traditions. I know that. And until there is trust, there is a lack of trust. And many believe that trust is earned. So building trust takes time, could take weeks, could take months. In my experience, it's taken a few days, and it's taken a few months. It depends on the individuals involved. How have I done so far? I've done okay. I would say that Dr. Francis's message about language made me pause. It made me remember that there were times in which I could have said things differently, more respectfully, more responsively. His discussion of race and racism validated my opinion that race is a social construct. Believe me, it's very important, but it's important in a different way. It's important that we understand how race affects a person's life, and that we are respectful and responsive to those needs based on culture, race, economic status, etc. But finally, I'm just going to read this out because it's very important. Dr. Francis's discussion of gender, sexual orientation, race, and racism probably made me the most reflective. And I've often wondered how to mitigate negative opinions of the other in the classroom. Expressions of that opinion have in the past made me express my anger because I don't care for that kind of language. It hits a nerve with me. But now I think I'll try his approach. When I hear something negative about other people, whether it's a racist comment or a comment about the other gender or comment about someone's sexual orientation, I'm not going to get angry. I'm just going to ask a simple question. Where did you learn that? And see if I can have a conversation instead of a screaming match. So what else do I have to do to create this positive learning environment? Well, there are things that I can do as a teacher and as a student. I can continue to read. I can continue to explore. I can continue to write and talk with people and connect with them and make networks, build networks. I can continue to work with my students to build that place where they feel safe and comfortable and willing to come and learn. And I can also continue to be myself. And then here are some of the sources that I have used for this answer to our question. And I hope that you'll maybe find some of them interesting. I did expand on my learning of about John Hattie, and I think that his work is pretty amazing because he's done a meta-analysis of conditions for learning that are just, that I can't believe it, how many research studies he actually analyzed himself. And his work is an incredible contribution to the education literature. We also have Geneva Gay and Sonia Nieto, as I mentioned in the presentation, and their work on culturally responsive teaching is terrific. And then we have Jean Ormrod, whose text, Educational Psychology, is great for all educators. And finally, I did look at transformative learning, the challenge for reflective practice, but it didn't make it into this presentation. Still, I did consult it for this presentation. Thank you for listening.